So you have been told you need an architect to design your new home, but you don't feel ready to hire anyone yet. What if you could draw a 3D model of the house yourself? Oh wait, am I saying you don't need an architect? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you start, you might not be ready to get an architect, but then later when you decide that you want to build the house, then for sure you need an architect, you need a local architect, and you cannot build the house without that. So just to be clear, let's move on. Hi, Andrea here for katus.eu, and I'm super excited to be standing in front of you to talk about creating a house. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to use a free 3D modeling software called SketchUp. Now, if you are an architect, you probably are already familiar with SketchUp, but stick with me because I'm gonna give you a few good tips for making better models. If you are a home buyer, you probably don't know anything about 3D modeling software, but this is your software because it's so intuitive and you really can make any geometry you can think of without knowing anything about 3D modeling. Oh, before we begin, please click for me the subscribe button and make sure you click the little bell icon so you get a notification when we upload new videos. Alright, let's dig right in. I will go get behind my PC. So, you come here on this URL, sketchup.com/products/SketchUp-free. Okay. Now SketchUp is free and it is a web application since November 2017. The main objective of this video is not to teach you the entire SketchUp, is not to teach you how to design a house, is not to make an entire house myself, but I want to just show you a few tips that can help you a big time to make better drawings in SketchUp. So what you do, you come on this URL and you start modeling. It takes a little bit to load, and after it's loaded, probably you have to connect it with your Facebook or Google account. This is a thing you have to do only once. Now I've done it already, I'm already inside SketchUp. Now what you have to do, you have to go on new model and I pick millimeters. So I suggest you pick millimeters because it's easier to put the dimensions in there. And now what we are gonna do, we are gonna try to draw this little house here. Now I just got this on the internet, and by the way, if you get floor plans on the internet, make sure there is no copyright on them. I mean, you can't reuse floor plans which are owned by someone else, so make sure you find something which is free or anyway modified enough so that nobody can come with a claim on your plans. But let's look at this. So what I see immediately is that there is no way you can build this particular house with a prefab system. And the reason is that the external walls are too thin. You see, this is like what? I have no idea, but it's like less than 20 centimeters. Now, if you're building a house with timber frame elements, the thickness of the wall is gonna be in the order of 30 centimeters. So I would say 337 millimeters is the right size. And so if I have to start to draw this, man, I wouldn't use this 13700 because you see that you are going to miss like half meter from the width because the walls are too thin. So a way to start drawing this and make it like properly is to take the center room. So this 6.7, this is the internal space of the lounge, and 3.5 meters is the width, and then I have 2.5 meters. So this entire room should be 6. So the entire room should be 6.7 by 3.5. Now I'm gonna switch on full screen so you can see the lower corner, and I'm gonna take this tool here, line, and I go from the origin. I will put the pen on the green X here, and I will just type 6000 here. You see it comes here when I'm writing. So again, snap it on the green line and type 6000. Then you move the pen and you see at some point it snaps on the red axis. It's parallel to this line here, yeah, and then you type 6700, boom, and now you have this. Then you bring it down on the green line again, and until it snaps here, and you basically have drawn now a line which is perpendicular to this. And now you can close the rectangle by clicking here, and you have this, what we see here. To move it like this, I'm holding the mouse on the center wheel. I'll show you in a sec here. So I'm pushing here, you hold this down and you can orbit. Okay, so I orbit this thing and I have my main room, which again is this one here, the lounge plus dining plus kitchen. Now we want to do something cool. We will put it like this, that we can make a thin selection, and we make a selection of, oops, I have to zoom out with the wheel of the mouse. Okay, make a selection. I've selected lines and the surface here. Now if I right click, I have make group, and I want to make a group. Now this thing becomes a one object that I can, you see, one click for selecting it. If I want to edit this object at this point, I have to double click on it and it goes inside the object. Now if I press P, letter P on the keyboard, like Paris, right, I got the tool, the push pull tool, this thing you are seeing, the cursor, and if I click and pull down, you see this thing becomes a solid. It's very easy. And now I can write, for example, 500 in the lower corner, boom. If I push enter, I have this. Now I press space to get back the arrow tool, selection tool, and I click out of the solid, boom. And now we have this thing. This is our foundation, again, only for this part here. I just made a foundation slab, you see, and this thing, again, this is just one object. Oh, now what I want to do, I want to add the proper measurements here for the walls, to support the walls. So I know, again, double click, I'm inside the object. I want to add P337. I pull this thing here by 337 millimeters, enter. Okay, and I do the same on the other side, 337, enter. Okay, now basically what I've done, I got this dimension right. Now we have to add on both sides this wall, which is 10 centimeters and 10 centimeters about, so it's 20 centimeters that we have to add. Plus we have to add 3.4 on both sides, right? This is the width of this room, and again 337. So I can do this all at once. Let's do some math in my little head here. 3.4 is 6.8 plus 2 is 7, and then we have to add the 337 twice. Pull, this case, 7,337, and then I will pull 337 more. Okay, so this is the floor slab now that will can contain this entire building. And now we have to give this shape here, and we can do this later. Now what I want to do, I want to start building external walls, and this is very easy. So I will take a line and press L, and now note that at this moment I am not inside the object, I am outside the object. You see, I'm just on top of the object, so whatever I draw now, it doesn't stick to the object. And this is the main point of this entire thing. So 337 is the thickness of my wall, and I just draw something here, a rectangle. Now this rectangle, if I select it, is a bunch of lines and a surface. Okay, if I pull this up, sorry, yeah, it snaps, boom. Now it's a lot of different surfaces, but what I can do, what I must do, is to select this and make a group. Okay, now I have two objects. This is the foundation and this is the wall. You see, there are two separate objects, and so what I can do is now I take a reference line. Could have pulled the entire thing, but I want to make 2700 this. Okay, so I use this reference line and I double click P, pull this thing up to the line. Yes, now I delete the line. Remember, the line was outside the object. And now I will click this thing, double click, and extend it here. So this is my first wall. Other wall on the other side is the same. So I Ctrl C, Ctrl V this. I go with the tool. You get a move tool immediately when you're copying stuff. I get it by the corner and I just click it here, and now it's in place. You see, now we have killed the man. We can move the man, press M and just drag it where you want. You can grab things by just clicking on the point, and then you see it snaps on the on facing group. Boom, so it's on the surface. Now we have to take care of the back wall. Again, now we have three objects, 1, 2 and 3, and this is very important, because if I don't make objects, if I don't make these are groups actually, if I don't make groups, the entire geometry is gonna blend together and then you cannot move things. So how do we do this? I can build it from scratch, or I can simply Ctrl C, Ctrl V. If you go on the top face, you see these little handles here. If you click on it, then you can rotate the thing, and then you snap it to 90 degrees here, and then you take it again from here, and boom, you have your wall. Easy. So this is our back wall, P, and we extend it here. And now we have to make the front wall. Now this is a little bit trickier, because we have to draw it, right? So it has to be 3.4 wide, the room, and then we have this corner, and we have to come down, would come down probably 1 meter here. I'm not measuring it, I don't want to make it perfect. So what we are gonna do, we are gonna create this from scratch. So we know that this is 337. We make it the right height, and we close the rectangle. Then we take these 4 things and we create a group, make group. Then we enter the group with a double click, we P, and it's 3400. Boom. Now this is our room. Now I want to take this, Ctrl C, I want to turn it 90 degrees, take it from the corner, sorry, take it M, take the move tool, cut from here, and okay. So now I will measure from the outside 1000, and here is the, I'll draw this little line here. Now I open this object and I push it back to the line here, boom, and it snaps on the line. So I have to delete these 2 lines I made. I will, this point I can copy this here because it's the same wall, right? Ask space select tool, I select the other one, I copy this. All right, and now we have this part handled, and now we have just to put another space again, copy, and I will put this here, and then I extend it to the other side like this. Boom, done. Now if we want to adjust the foundation, we simply go double click on the foundation, make a line here, get again SketchUp is snapping by itself in the points where you have already a vertex, so it's super easy. Press P and push this back to snap on the surface. Boom, and you have it. So this is the outline of the house with the right measures. Now if I want to see how long it came, because I have no idea, I started from the inside to make this thing. Yeah, it should work. I'm not sure of this, but I took this. Yeah, so it should contain everything now. So if I click on this entity info, I can select something. I can draw a measure, for example. I can simply draw a line, and for example take this point to this point here, draw a line, and then press space. I get the select tool, I select the line, and I see that this line is 14 meters and 374, which is about 60 centimeters more than this, because as I told you in the very beginning, we were missing the external walls here. Yeah, so it makes sense that we have it bigger. Now what we should do, we should make the internal walls. There is like two main internal walls in here that we can draw quite easily. Not going to make the entire model of the house, but so the internal wall of course has to be in line with this. So it will be like from here, let's make it 100. So we will open this object, double click and push this back to snap here. And then we click out, and then we select the line and remove it. And now we can extend this P here. Boom. And this we can copy and we can paste it here. So you see, it is super easy and fast to make drawings with SketchUp. Now let's say we want to open a window in here. How do we do that? That's very easy. So this window, I have no idea how large it is. We should measure it somehow, but let's say that it's this is 7.3. it's probably around 3 meters. Let's make 3 meters. So go back in SketchUp, I go on the face here, I go inside the object, I take the midpoint here and I go 1500, so half of the size on this side, end point of the line that I just draw, and I draw here. You see blue, it means that I'm on the vertical axis, so it has to snap on the blue, and I will put 2100, which is the height of the window. Now I put 3000, and now I come back down and I have to snap again on the blue line. Yes, now I have drawn this rectangle and I can push it, so I press P and push it back on the back face of this solid, and there you go. Yeah, window. You see, it's pretty fantastic tool, SketchUp. And so you go ahead with this and you draw all the windows that you have in the building. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit of roof, because roof is one of the places in the house where you get the most problems, and it looks like I don't know, designers, architects are afraid to make thick roofs, but guess what, you need thick roofs because of insulation. So a roof on this house can easily be 500 millimeters thick. What does it mean? Well, let's see. Kill the camera. If I type 500 here, this is the thickness of the roof. Okay, so trying to create now an object. Snap here. See, SketchUp is really good at auto snapping. And now I have the idea of the roof here. We'll select it and make a group. Now I have a solid. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a roof slab P and just push it all the way down here. Okay, so this thing is pretty massive, and now if we give it some angle, let's select it, let's pick this rotate, and you gotta snap it in the right place. Yes, and then you just put pick up a point on the solid and snap it, and now you just push it up, and you can type 20, and this will just put the roof at an angle 20. It copied the roof because I pressed Ctrl in the meantime, so I will just delete this. Now you see how thick is this roof, right? So perhaps you don't want to have it this thick. So one thing we could do to adjust a little bit the roof situation, because look what happens if I now want to have an overhang here, is like if I want to have like a 900 millimeters overhang, this looks awful. Look how thick it is. So you don't want it this thick. What you want to do, you want to play a little bit here and go like this was 500. Let's say that we go up 300, and then we go down. You see this is now parallel. Boom, and you can pull this, push this like this, and look how nice it looks. You see, now it's much better. And we can do something similar here on the side. So we can take a line from actually the edge of this thing. I have to build this line which comes here on the edge. Okay, so now this here we can P, and we can clean cut this. We are now in the roof. Remember, we are in the roof object. Now we have to clean these two lines, and now we have, you see, what a nice construction of the roof. And we can now push M and pull down the roof to make it, to put it in contact with the wall. So this is a very clean execution of the roof, and this thing, this entire thing, can be an element. You see how nice? It's very easy to draw like this, but you must think a little bit of what you're doing when you're modeling the roof, because if you just put the slab like this, or if you make it like 200 millimeter thick, well, that's not gonna work in production. Okay, so you have to make it in a way, in the same way that they make it in the factory, and this is how it's gonna look like. So let's now make this a component. Component number one. Well, let's just, okay. Component, now component is something that it's like a group, but it's something that if I show you with an example. If now these are two instances of the same component, if I extend this by, now note that the first click goes inside the component, and inside the component I have the object, which is a group. Okay, so I have to double click again if I want to go inside the group. Now inside the group, I'm inside the group, I can pull. Look what happens to the other one. You see, they're both extending together because this is a component. It's not a group anymore. It's a group inside a component. So the reason why I did that is this, because now I take this, I will first I will move it here, so we have it on the other edge of the house. Okay, and now I will copy it. I will take the rotate tool here, I will put it in the midpoint, place it horizontal, click, and then I will rotate it 180 degree, and then I will come with M, take the move tool, and I will put it here. See? And now I will copy it. I have to go on the other side. I will orbit again the middle button of the mouse, the wheel, push the wheel and it will orbit. There you have it. Now we have a little edit to do here, but it's easy. So double click, you are in the component, double click again, you are in the group, make a line here from intersection to intersection and P one side of the roof. Boom, look at that. Yeah, so we almost have it. Now we need to take care of this. So Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Now remember, this is a component, I can't modify that. What I have to do, I have to explode it, and it's not a component anymore. Now we are back in the group, so I can just take it and paste it here. I can now space, select it, double click and pull this, boom, and now we have another element that covers that part. And now I have to take care of this. This is gonna be a little bit trickier because you see that the roof here comes to a different height, so this wall has to be higher, so it has to come up a bit to go, yeah, somewhere there. So this connection here has to be investigated farther to make it look as it should, because in the end of the story the house should look like this. And this probably we can cut much higher here, but we have to raise the wall. So I'm not gonna do this now because it's gonna take time, but I'm sure you get the point of this demonstration, which was to show you how easy it is to draw with SketchUp and how you should think in terms of thickness of walls, that you should always consider then the components that are manufactured in the factory, they have given thicknesses, and you should investigate to find out which are the proper sizes for each type of wall. Then you can make openings like windows, doors very quickly, and you really must use the groups at the very least. I'm not saying components, but you must use groups, because otherwise things stick together in a very bad way. So last thing, let's go to save it, press save, go in a folder and just call it like whatever you want, test1, save here, and it's saved. So with SketchUp you can build pretty complex geometries, pretty complex projects, but the thing is that everything you do with SketchUp is really easy to measure. No? So the manufacturers can get measures out of this kind of design pretty quick, and it's very much likely that if you present a SketchUp model instead of just a sketch on a drawing, the manufacturer will agree to make a price offer like quickly, because it's really fast to measure. Alright, this was how to draft the 3D model of your house with SketchUp, And if you like this video, and of course you did because you're still watching, please click the like button for me, and maybe you leave a comment in the comment section below the video. Now, do you subscribe? If you haven't done that, please subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming video. And next time, I will tell you about the 5 benefits of hiring a manufacturer at the early stage in the process. I'll see you at the next. Ciao!